It will soon take longer to transfer money, with banks moving to combat the speed of international scammers. As Jonathan Lee explains, our digital world is also in for a radical overhaul, with the government preparing to draft new laws to keep crime syndicates away from our savings.
Glenn Rudgley came within a whisker of having his life savings stolen from his bank account.
It took years off my life. It's the most stressful thing I've ever been through in my life.
The criminal who scammed him had managed to take over control of his home phone and mobile number. Having watched one account be drained, Glenn phoned his home telephone and in a chilling moment spoke straight to the thief.
And he said, "Hello?" And I just, in a couple of words, just told him what I thought. And he just straight away said, the teacher. He knew which one of his victims I was, and he was remorseless.
Having promised action at the election, the Albanese government set up the National Anti-Scam Centre in July. The Financial Services Minister, Stephen Jones, says it's starting to show results.
16% reduction in scams overall, the losses to scams overall.
Next week, the Minister will conclude the consultation process on the much bigger Scams Code framework. It will mandate rules and responsibilities for banks, telcos and digital platforms.
We want it legislated and operating this year.
Controversially, the government's legislation could force a telco or social media giant to pay compensation if it's the source of a breach.
Scams don't come to customers through their banking apps. Scams come to customers through their SMS messages, through their social media like Facebook.
Behind the scenes, the banking sector is implementing its own reforms. Critically, it's warning us the speed of banking is about to be slowed down.
When you're paying a bill to someone or you're transferring money to someone you've never sent it to before, and it's a particularly high amount, a number of banks are now looking at slowing that process down, putting a bit of sand in the gears.
The criminal's ultimately after the money, but to get there, they might need to exploit a telco.
David Lacey backs the reforms. For 10 years, he's run ID Care.
Our identity system is built on a foundation of sand.
He believes we can expect to see an increase in biometric checks. That's everything from fingerprints to facial recognition. The biometric checks could cut down on what's known as SIM porting. It's what almost cost Glenn everything as he lost control. So how does it happen? Well, scammer will transfer control of your precious phone number over to their mobile phone. Once they have control, they can now pretend they are you, assuming your identity, allowing them to transfer your life savings wherever they want in minutes. Getting around two-factor identification.
We're going to have to accept that our financial transactions are going to be harder.
Jonathan Lee, Sky News.